Hey guys, and welcome to BowHunterPlanet.com. Welcome back to the Scary Hunting Stories. Once again, the story you're about to hear is extremely graphic, and if you don't like that type of thing or you're not the right age or anything like that, I definitely recommend not watching this video. The story you're about to hear is a very scary, true hunting story out of Mayo, Michigan that happened here in my home state many years ago in the 80s, but to this day is probably one of the most graphic scenarios that I have ever heard of. So on November 21st, 1985, childhood friends David Tyll and Brian Ognjan left their homes in St. Clair Shores, Michigan, to head to David's family cabin in White Cloud, Michigan. They first planned to visit a friend in Mayo, 150 miles east. However, they never actually arrived at the cabin or the friend's home where they were never seen again. The vehicle, 1980 black Ford Bronco, has never been found. The authorities do believe the men never made it to White Cloud. However, several witnesses placed the men and their Bronco in Mayo, so they believe that something happened to them there. So the story goes like this. Investigators learned from an informant that they went to Linker's Lounge near Mayo, Michigan. They drank heavily and got into a physical altercation with another group of people that included the Duvall brothers. However, the police did not have enough evidence until a witness, Barbara Bergeron, came forward. She reported that she and a friend, now deceased, had been at the bar on the night of the disappearance. She had seen the Hunters and Duvall brothers exchange words inside the bar. She said that she and her friend later witnessed the brothers beat David and Brian to death with an aluminum baseball bats in a field near her home. She said that they then placed their bodies in their Ford Bronco and drove away. She did not come forward until 2003 due to her fear of these guys, which is crazy when you think about it. Several other witnesses reported that the Duvall brothers bragged about killing David and Brian, cutting them up and feeding the remains to their pigs. These witnesses were also apparently threatened into silence. Another witness, the girlfriend of Raymond's son, also came forward in 2003. She said that Raymond had bragged to her and that he and Donald killed the Hunters over a dispute of a deer. He also told her that he had put their bodies to a wood chipper and fed the remains to the pigs.
March 5th, 1999, 8 a.m. Along a stretch of back road just west of Mayo, State Police Detective Bronco Lesneski is going door to door in an effort to interview local residents. In this quiet one-stoplight town, most police work centers on a few routine calls.
More the garden variety stuff is, larcenies and B&Es and things like that.
But Detective Lesneski isn't working your average case. He's investigating a crime that's baffled law enforcement and terrified folks in Mayo for years.
This case was a real Michigan mystery. Two hunters went up north for a fun weekend and they never returned home.
Their weapons were never found, their billfolds, their bodies, nothing.
Operating off little more than a rumor, Lesneski is on the hunt for an eyewitness who may know what happened to the two missing men. When Detective Lesneski knocks on the door of a nondescript house at the edge of town, a woman cautiously cracks open the door.
I'm knocking on the door. I'm thinking, here I am, another strikeout.
Lesneski explains why he's here, but the woman refuses to let him in. Though not before she tells Lesneski something that will forever alter the course of the investigation.
The woman says, you're going to get me killed. I think I found the person I was looking for. I think I found that person.
But who is this woman? And what is the terrible secret she's keeping? The answers to those questions would lay bare a crime so heinous, its details would be etched in the memory of an entire generation of Mayo residents.
It's something that the people will be talking about for a long time to come.
This family was proof of evolution. They had evolved along a criminal path, and they were masters of criminal behavior. And when I say that, they lived comfortably in a world of stealing cars at night and parting them out, cutting them into parts, selling them, taking them to, operating their own chop shops. They did that as efficiently as they poached salmon up north or poached deer or tied up to the local electric line and were able to do it without electrocuting themselves and steal electricity for their houses. They were wonderful criminal elements, and they were nasty and without conscience, and they loved getting in brawls, whether it was with each other or whether it was with people in the community, and they were killers. And if you live, the northeast part of Michigan is completely different from the northwest part. The northwest near Traverse City, it's orchards and craft breweries and startup tech communities and bed and breakfasts and motels and this incredibly thriving tourist community. The northeast part along Lake Huron is hard scrabble, no industry, no jobs, very little tourism, except during deer season. These are hard lives being led by hard people in many cases. And nobody was going to make their life harder.
To this day, neither David or Brian's remains have ever been found. Investigators also believe that at least 3 other men were involved in the attack on the hunters. But however, to this day, no one else has been charged. It is a really amazing that the lead investigator was able to get this woman, Barbara, to speak of what had happened that night in 2003. It took that long for him. He had worked with her for 5 years going back and forth. So obviously this is an extremely tragic scenario, a very scary scenario. And, you know, sometimes you feel as though when you're with a friend, you're more invincible. Arguing over a deer is a really bad idea. You should always get the DNR involved if there's a dispute over an animal that you've killed. Also, you know, drinking and arguing with people in bars in a hunting scenario is not a good thing. Did these guys deserve this to happen to them? Absolutely not. These guys are obviously psychopaths and are murderers, and this whole pig thing is just seriously one of the most upsetting stories I've ever heard. And I've heard the story many years ago, and just rereading it, rewatching videos on it to learn about it, to share with you guys who haven't heard the story, kind of brings back some really just awful thoughts and feelings. But when you're in areas that you're not used to, and you're in rural areas, you always have to be cautious. Know the setting, know where you're at, know who you're talking to, and don't argue with people. I mean, honestly, why, you know, don't fight with people. Don't, you know, be that way, because things like this could happen. I mean, this is a crazy scenario, especially crazy that it took that long for the police to be able to actually arrest these guys. And that's scary. All those years, those guys are out there doing other harmful things to people. Who knows what the heck they did? It's just insane. So thanks for watching as usual. If you like the stories you're hearing, make sure you hit like and subscribe around here. And if you don't, that's fine. You skip these videos and you can watch all of our great archery and hunting videos. There's so many great things that we're working on all the time for you guys. And this is just one more example of something we thought would be important to bring to the community, just so people are aware of the scary things that are really happening. And you have to be ready for that. More of these stories are coming up soon, and we'll see you next time.